A late, cruel twist for Razorback International denies them a potential round one lead after clears from Christian Kukuk and Max Weishout. 3 fences falling for Philip Weishout takes Razorback International from a potential first place down to 4th. They find themselves behind the Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team. Home fans for now happy to see them sitting on a potential podium. It's the Basel Cosmopolitans who are in 2nd, but it's the Rome Gladiators of all the 6 teams still that surprise package. Let's show you then the official results from the GCL Super Cup final after round 1, as the Rome Gladiators now lead with only 1 fence going down between all 3 riders. Guardiano having a fence down, Yuri Mansour jumping clear, and Peter Fredriksson on Al Capone jumping clear as well. The best of the 6. What happened to Falkenswaard United? Plenty of fences falling. An 8 for Marcus Eining, an 8 for Hans-Dieter Dreyer, and a 4 for Gilles Thomas takes them to 20. Unlikely to see them make any form of comeback in the upcoming 2nd round a little bit later on. Falkenswaard are in trouble. But as it stands, as we said, the Rome Gladiators lead on 4, Basel and Prague just behind them. Let's hear from Yuri Mansour from the Rome Gladiators.
Well, Yuri, you said yesterday that you fancied your chances here. What a brilliant opening round. Just give us your response.
Yeah, this is team spirit. This is the short response. Since we arrived, we are in this, and we're going to keep going like this, yeah.
Double clear. You bring QH Alphonse Santo Antonio in for his first round this week, the 18-year-old. Jumped out of his skin. Your horse is just in such good form.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't do one little jump all the week. He was only waiting, yeah. But yeah, I know him, and he's in top form, so yeah.
And now the 2nd round, and you've got to get that right. And what's the conversation been in the background, or is it just 3 old heads focusing?
We just have to finish the job. This is our goal.
Yuri, thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
For Yuri Mansour and an 18-year-old Alphonse Santo Antonio, this has been a remarkable GCL Super Cup without a shadow of a doubt. And again, they jump clear here tonight. And as he pointed out to us in an earlier interview, that he feels the Rome Gladiators are going to win here tonight. He said it clear as day on tape. Something about this week was telling him that the Rome Gladiators are going to win the GCL Super Cup final. Some may have thought it was a joke. Well, as it stands, they lead with a fence in hand over the Basel Cosmopolitans. Let's talk about the Prague Lions, the home team, with every single local Czech Republic person here shouting for their home team. A lot of pressure, a lot of expectation, but also a lot of drive and a lot of hope from these home fans trying to edge them along over those fences. Let's hear from Thibaut Spitz, the young rider for the Prague Lions.
Thibaut, it's the standard of the Global Champions League Super Cup that you can have 3 good rounds, but a couple of fences down and you're in a real difficult spot. What is the reaction after those 12 faults from the 3 rounds today?
I think in general, I think we've all done good rounds. I think, okay, of course, with every result counting and such a tough course, I think we just have to try for all ourselves to do our best round possible. That's what we tried. Unfortunately, we had the 3 rails, but okay, yeah, I think there's still going to be some faults, and we hope to be in a good position for the 2nd round.
How does it affect mentality when the first rider has a couple down? Because you have to be oh so careful after that.
Well, okay, I think in the end it doesn't change much. Of course, yeah, we just try to keep us in the game, keep us going, and that's only possible by delivering hopefully a clear round. Yeah.
In terms of faults, it looks like a podium place is going to have a reasonable number of fences down. What's the conversations going on in Prague Lions now in terms of the 2nd round?
Okay, I think we first have to see the course of the 2nd round, but I think the main objective stays the same. We aim for the podium. And yeah, we're just going to do as good as possible. That's the only thing we can do.
Thibaut, best luck for the 2nd round.
Thank you very much.
Take nothing away from that performance of this young man. Thibaut Spitz already winning on the Longines Global Champions Tour early on this year. Now, still at his under-25 rider with his very impressive and still very young Impress K, who's only 10, having just a single fence down in this 1m60 class. A very, very bright future for the Belgian and Impress K. Niels Bruinseels and Peter de Vos jumping alongside of him as well. 2 down for Niels Bruinseels and a wonderful clear from Peter de Vos that blew the roof off the O2 Arena here in Prague. James and Ed standing by, Ed Holloway and James Fisher, our commentators here tonight, who've been guiding us through the first round. They will do so again in the second a little bit later on. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Well, earlier on we spoke about the potential of surprises, some heavy penalties and late fences falling for the big guns, and as it stands, this dream of Yuri Mansour, Ed, somehow stays alive. Give me your thoughts of GCL Super Cup final round 1.
Yes, thank you, Mark. This entire week has sprung surprises, James, and this has been no exception. Round 1 of the GCL Super Cup was again in the surprise mode because, yeah, Riesebeck International looked, James, to be running away with the show with 2 great clears, and suddenly Philip Weishaupt started well, and suddenly things went out of his grasp. He'd had 3 down, and suddenly Riesebeck go from maybe first place down the leaderboard quickly.
Yeah, it was a shame. You heard from Otto Becker, you know, it's a youngish horse that Philip Weishaupt was riding, and this can happen. And he's there as anchor man, you sort of expect, because they look so strong. I mean, the clear round from Christian Kuckuck was just unbelievable. And, you know, they were there on 0 faults, and you just expected it. But that's why it was such a shock. But it was very fair, very fair. I think it's 7 clears out of 18. It was a great statistics on that side of it. And but there's always drama. You could never predict what's going to happen.
Yeah, the initial idea, Mark, of the GC Prague playoffs being redemption. If you'd had a tough season, you could come and have one weekend and recoup your losses of the year, and that is proving true for Rome Gladiators. They didn't have a great season, but they were outstanding to win the quarters, James, and, well, 2 clears of unbelievable quality from Yuri Mansour and Peter Fredriksson, and a 4 penalty round for Emanuele Gadiano. They are our leaders.
Yeah, they look great. They've got great chemistry together. Emmanuel, full of determination. Yuri Mansour, he knew he was going to go there and jump a clear round. He had that belief. He was on an 18-year-old horse, and he really jumped the round of the afternoon so far. So they are looking really good. They've got to hold it together. And people love comebacks, don't they? And Basel Cosmopolitans as well. You know, what you feel that you're coming from behind, you've got a chance.
Yeah, and Basel, they're a brand new team this year. They were 7th in the season standing, so nothing to talk about in the season. But yeah, suddenly they're 4 penalties back. They're in 2nd, their first GC. Yeah, who could bet against them a podium or maybe a win? It's going to be great to see what they can do.
You're right, yeah. And Rodrigo Almeida, you know, the anchorman there, you know, in as a bit of a substitute, he rode just amazing. You know, he was just on it, and that was following Marlon Zanatelli, and on a horse that jumped so well in the semis. Just had 1 down today, but I love that horse. So they only need to hold it together as well, and they'll be on the podium. So it is really great stuff.
We've got 2 teams on 12. The home team, Prague Lions, powered team, and Riesebeck International, powered by Horse Gym, both on 12, and they're not out of it, are they? I mean, they're 8 penalties back of the 4 of Rome Gladiators, and I think that course will be so difficult, James, that 12, if they could stay on 12 now, jump 3 clears, it could still be a winning score. I think, is that a fair statement?
That's right. It's just having seen Riesenbeck, you got 2, you know, outstanding clears, and then Philip, he's got his work cut out. He's on a younger horse that obviously is finding this quite difficult. So you've got to consider that. Prague Lions, they've gone well, you know, this show, and the crowd's behind them. Peter de Vos, Casualty, he said, my favourite horse in the whole class. He was clear. Thibaut Spitz, very unlucky fault. He jumped great, so they look really strong. Is Niels Bruinseels, he's a tremendous rider, and he's clever, and I think if you can tweak things, they're also in with a really good shout.
And James, my last question, what did you make of Uliano Vetsani's first round? And secondly, what do you think he's got up his sleeve for round 2?
I think it's similar. He's just saw that he's just got it right. Horses were jumping with confidence. He's just put enough element of difficulty in his tracks. Nothing really got out of shape. He had that tricky little Prague chocolate plank by the Kiss and Cry, which caused a lot of problems. So he's done it in a good way. We've seen faults, nothing's come undone. I think he'll try and do the same. There's 7 clears, probably not as many in the second round. It's always difficult to go second round over this height.
Thank you, James. That's our perspective. Mark, back to you.
All right, James, Ed, thank you very much. Appreciate that. The thoughts of our commentators giving us some reflection on GCL Super Cup final round 1. I remind you, it's the Rome Gladiators who lead on 4. Basel Cosmopolitans making a debut here tonight on 8. And just behind them, the home team, the Proud Lions, on 12 penalties. That is a provisional podium as it stands. Razorback International, New York Empire, and surprisingly, GCL season champions, Falcons White United, in 6th place on 20 penalties. Let's hear from Rodrigo Almeida from the Basel Cosmopolitans. His beautiful 10-year-old mare jumping clear for his team to help keep them on 8 and put them in 2nd place.
Yes, come on, Rodrigo, was your response as you went over the 13th and final fence. Your emotions, your elation must be something else right now.
Yeah, it was for sure one of the most important rounds of my career so far. I knew the pressure was totally on today. We have 2 rounds to do. We have to perform 1,000,000%. We studied the rounds, me and Dennis, inside out for more than 10 times, and everything went exactly as we planned. So I'm once again very delighted with my round, with all my team around, and for all the support I have this weekend to make these results possible.
I commented during the pre-show that Dennis was sat there, was taking very detailed notes. What were the notes? What was the advice he said as you went into the arena?
Yeah, the most important for us is to work on the outside lines. These on the lines that not many people think about it, but actually is what it makes this round possible. So I was completely relaxed in my mind that if I could make my plan worked out, the clear round could be possible, because my mare is one of the best horses that exist in the world. So I know when I can rely 100% on her, and I just have to focus with myself.
And now for Basel Cosmopolitans, there's every chance you could come away as GCL Super Cup winners in your first ever season. What's the conversation been in the team ahead of round 2?
Yes, for sure. We have top riders, we have top horses, so I think we just have to really focus now for 2nd round and try to deliver 3 clear rounds, and I think the chance to win is still possible today.
Rodrigo, well ridden, well done, Basel Cosmopolitans. Good luck for round 2.
Thank you.
A very, very excited and full of belief Rodrigo Almeida from the Basel Cosmopolitans. They find themselves in 2nd place, just behind the current leaders, Rome Gladiators, on 4. Joining us in the studio for some closing thoughts, Dan Strange has been on the kiss and cry, chatting to the riders. Take me through some of your favourite reactions, some of the favourite comments that have been made, Dan, during the opening round of the GCL Super Cup final.
Despite where Riesenbeck International find themselves, Marco Kutscher was actually in a really decent mood today. Very philosophical, as he said. 2 dream rounds from Christian, from Max, and then the round that slightly fell apart for them, but they'll still stay within the fight. You said about Rodrigo Almeida, I think just the confidence flowing from him is clear for all to see, and Dennis, his coach, is delighted with how the partnership there is going. Yuri Mansour still is adamant. And why wouldn't he be? His team
fantastically brave call, but the nice thing is that he's backing it up, and that's what makes it so much more than just a wish.
I did an interview with him where he went a little bit short answers, but it wasn't because he was being off or aloof or anything. It was because the belief is there. There's nothing more for him to say than, we believe we are going to win this. Rome Gladiators absolutely believe that is the case. And why wouldn't you, with the way that they're riding, the way Emanuele Guardiano's riding, the way Yuri Mansour's riding, coming in on 18-year-old Alphonse for the first time this week, they've saved the veteran, okay, for the big occasion.
And then you have Peter Fredriksson, who comes in as the anchor to ride it out, puts in another clear, and all of a sudden, despite being very early to go, they jump to the top of the leaderboard and they stay there throughout the rest of the round.
7 clears of 18 across the round overall. And would you have put your money on the 3 bottom riders, Marcus Ehning, Philip Weissaut and Bertram Allen? Pacino Amaro, it wasn't really a vintage Pacino Amaro. It was an unusual round from that horse, from that rider. For Philip Weissaut, another difficult round today. But There's been some...
It talks about the magic of this competition.
Yeah.
It talks about the magic of this format. It talks about just how and why, again, the story and the theme of redemption stays alive in a GCL Super Cup. Because here is an example of the Rome Gladiators, who had an indifferent season. And if they are to be successful by the end of the night, and if they are to go on and win the Super Cup final tonight, the amount of money that they will receive, the honor and the prize that they will receive, will absolutely erase any negative performances that have come out throughout the season. This GCL Super Cup is a story of possible redemption. But if you look at the traditional big sides, Falcons United in trouble on 20 penalties. Razorback International, despite a clear from Christian Kukuk, a clear from Max Weishout, as Dan pointed out, some very uncharacteristic penalties for Philip Weishout, taking them to a very late 12. Who would have put money on a potential Basel Cosmopolitan Rome Gladiator penalty shootout showdown for first and second place? When we take a look at the season that was, it's beautifully teed up for a second round.
I think you would have put more money on Basel Cosmopolitans being in the position that they are in than you would have Rome Gladiators being in the position they are in. However, if you look at the mid-season transfer of Peder Fredriksson coming into Rome Gladiators, I suppose it's like a football team signing Messi or something. Yeah, he's that good, he's been there for that long and done it so much. Rome Gladiators, though, they've just turned themselves around. They've found a belief, they've found a way to get the horses performing.
But, and this is a very big but, it'll be the closing but of the show. As you can see how quickly things can turn around. So Rome Gladiators are looking very comfortable. They are going in pole position into that second round. But we've seen how quickly fences can fall. And all of a sudden, one or two difficulties in a combination can take you from 4 to 8 to 12 very quickly. And you could all of a sudden fall out of a complete podium position in very, very quick succession. So there is still a lot to fight for. Thank you to James, thank you to Ed, thank you to Dan. We take a break, and when we return, we start building up for the second round. The final round of the 2025 season is upon us, as we will be crowning a 2025 GCL Super Cup final winner later on tonight. Grab a drink, come back and join us for the build-up to round 2.